Welcome to the Notorious Scoundrels, a Star Wars Legion podcast bringing you the latest news, general perspective, and competitive discussion.
Hello and welcome back to the Notorious Scoundrels podcast. I'm Kyle. I'm here with Mike and David and Zach, and also Jay and Evan from the Fifth Trooper podcast. What's up, guys?
Oh, we're back. You thought you got rid of us, Legion? You didn't. Boom.
Yo.
Here we are. What's going on?
Back at it. back with more Legion.
Oh, wow. All right.
No, it's good. I'm actually excited to get to talk to you about it again because I've been painting and trying to get a lot of stuff ready for the show, and then I looked at my two tanks that are still butt naked and made me miss the game, so I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, so this is, in fact, speaking of Legion, a big weekend for Legion because there's the online GenCon Legion tournament happening this weekend, which the Fifth Trooper is running. So do you guys want to talk about that real quick? You want to talk about the prize support for starters?
Yeah. So I bet you're asking yourselves, hey guys, GenCon is full. I can't get in. And that's okay, because even you, someone who's going to watch our streams, could win crazy stuff. How's that? Was that good?
It sounded pretty good, buddy.
Am I done? Can we go?
I think you passed the audition.
What kind of stuff, Jay?
But wait, there's more.
Okay, so actually, there's a couple of really, really exciting ones. I'm going to start with the best one, I think. The Army Painter. They're completely sponsoring this. They put up a ton of prize support for this. So they have, 7 items just for watching the stream that we'll be giving away. So here's the cool thing. You'll have the Fifth Trooper YouTube. Dash is going to be streaming on his channel, Dash.tv, right, Dash? Is that what it is?
Just Dash's TV, yeah.
Dash's TV. And then Yavin Base and Endless, he's going to be streaming on his channel. So we're going to be simulcasting at the same time. And no matter whose stream you're watching, whether you're watching the YouTube or the 2 Twitch channels, you're going to have a chance to win a giveaway. And so Army Painter, they're giving away one of their mega paint sets just for watching the stream. Like, it's crazy. And they're also going to give away 3 regular paint sets and then 3 wet palettes as well. So what you do is you come watch. We'll tell you what to do during the stream. I'm being vague because I haven't figured that part out yet. And you'll do whatever it is we tell you to do, and then we'll give away one of these things, And I think Mike and David, we may have like different ways of giving it away, but if you're watching and you do the action that we tell you to do, you could be entered to win.
Yeah, so it's going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. It seems like a really, really awesome way to kind of promote the community getting together, not only to play Legion, but to watch it at the same time.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's hard watching other people play because you're asking yourself, what's in it for me? Where's my glory? And I'm telling you right now, you could win a mega paint set from the Army Painter. What do you think of that?
How many paints is in that thing? Like, I don't even know.
Well, hold up. I have one right here because I got one off Amazon like 2 years ago on like a super awesome deal. Mm-hmm. Hold up. I got this.
You got it.
There
Come on.
is 50 war paints. There's 39 acrylics, 5 metallics, 4 washes, and 2 effects.
That's a lot of paint.
Yeah,
that is not a small amount of paint.
And like, just so you at home know what this means, if you win the mega paint set, you're getting exactly what the first place player is getting. Like, they're getting a mega paint set. So the rewards for watching are going to be similar to, I'm not going to say equal, but similar to the rewards for people playing. Also, the Fifth Trooper is we're going to give away event decks random to the stream. And we're going to give away 2 sets of each of our order tokens random to stream. So we're going to have a bunch of giveaways as well. And, also, what the heck else are you going to be doing, right? I mean, it's summer, it's ugly out, the clouds are it's cold. Like, nobody wants to be outside in the middle of July, August, right? So you
Isn't that right, Kyle?
yeah, right, Kyle?
Yeah, my AC is not working right now for those.
Oh, dude.
So I'd actually like to be outside. That sounds pretty
Yeah.
nice right now.
But we'll be streaming it all day, Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
Jay and I will be there, and we'll have guests come through, and so you can talk to us. Talk about the stream,
Mhm.
talk about Legion. It'll be a good time, man. I'm actually at first I
Yeah.
wasn't pumped, and then as we get closer, I'm getting more excited about it, because it's like Legion's in a super interesting spot right now, and I really like it. So I think it's a good time to play and a good time to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, it's tough, right? Because there isn't a lot of in-person stuff going on. So this will be a nice change, that we can help move you along through your summer.
For me personally, like I went to Gen Con for the first time 2 years ago, and it was like the most exciting thing I do related to tabletop gaming like all year, apart from like Northeast Open. Um, but but I know which side my bread's buttered on. So, but no, seriously, like I was really sad that it got kind of shuttered this year because of coronavirus.
Yeah.
And I think Gen Con is doing a lot to try to bring some of that magic back in the safest way that we can have it, which is through the internet. And a lot of the same people that are running this event are going to be the same faces you would see in person if you were able to go to the event itself. And the whole event is run in such a manner that we're trying to replicate the authentic experience of what actually going to this event would have been like when it comes to unit selection, tournament staff, just hopefully the good time that you might have had if you had gone to this event physically. But now, if you've never been to something like this, there's a way to enjoy it, and even more so, like watching the streams as well. You can participate in your own way without actually playing. But
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I highly recommend it. Not just because I'm participating in it, and not just because I'm streaming it, but because I really think that it's something that you shouldn't miss out on, with all my heart.
Yeah, yeah, and to kind of go off that, David, it's an opportunity to come hang out, right? Like we're all going to be there. Everybody's going to be there. And so, we would be having these conversations in person and maybe going to get some food and a drink or something. And, but we have to do it this way. And so come join us and have a good time. And, I want to say too, we're streaming it and we're kind of putting on the event, but, a lot of the other content creators in the community are actually supporting this too. Like, what is it? Liberty Squadron. They're giving us some giveaways for the players. Imperial Terrain is supporting with giveaways to the players. The Jedi Hunter podcast, they're giving away stuff to the players. 6 Up Supply, like, so a lot of the community has Krabick, he's given away something to the players too. So a lot of the community has come together, the content creator community as well. And it's just kind of like similar to how I've been explaining it to everyone. It's similar to how Northeast Open was. This is kind of just our love letter to the community. And because we couldn't do Northeast Open, we wanted to, we had it all set way back in January, but Corona'd. And so, this is our chance to this is our love letter to the community, basically.
Right. And maybe you're listening to this podcast and, maybe you haven't gotten involved yet with Legion in the online capacity. And so maybe let this be your gateway to that. Let you come here to participate, to get some free stuff, because God knows benefits are running out. So this is a great way to get hobby stuff without paying any additional money. All you have to do is come watch a stream. But I really just want to encourage people, connect with this community, because this game is so much larger than the local scene, right? This game is worldwide.
Yeah.
When were we having simulcasts in Spanish out of Argentina? Like,
Yeah.
we're multi-hemispheric now. Okay, so this is your chance to come connect with us and meet people.
Yeah, and it's interesting you say that, David. I actually got a message the other day. There's a group in Holland or the Netherlands, or I mixed up because I was talking to someone else from the similar region. This is the same day, but they're starting a Legion podcast, and they like, I was just talking to them about it, and they were asking if they thought if it would take off, and I say yes. I think we need more voices throughout the world, talking about this game that we all love. And I know Evan and I have been talking about other games on our podcast, but we still love this game. This is still my office here is still filled with Legion stuff. I'm still a Star Wars fan. So, this is still a game I love very much.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing so far, for those that don't know, we have like a separate Discord for everyone participating. My favorite thing has been the fact that we have international players, actually, which kind of changes the flavor of Gen Con. And I'm not saying that they couldn't normally come to Gen Con. They could, but it would cost them quite a bit. They have to travel, they have to room and board. And if they're coming over to the States, they're going to stay for like 2 to 3 weeks, because they're not just coming for, Legion. They're going to stay and explore. They can't do that, but now they can play from home, and they're playing in a tournament that, like I said, maybe they wouldn't normally be able to play in, and I'm excited to see that happen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. That's the nice thing about, I know it's been hard on everybody, but like for me, for like some of my business stuff, like a lot of the people I work with, we all do the video Zooms now, right? Where before we just did audio, like we didn't feel forced into the video. And so like I'm getting to meet people and see people that I've never met or saw before. And similarly, I think this is an opportunity for all these people that normally wouldn't get together to do something, to be together for one purpose.
So I just want to get you talking, Evan and Jay, about the in-flight report and what's being done with that.
Oh yeah, so it'll be Dash, Mike Cirillo, Zach. Are you coming to that?
Sorry, I was muted. If something big pops up, I might just be like, "Yo, Evan, Mike, what's up?"
Kick in the door. But and we'll be watching the in-flight report. We'll have a reminder up on YouTube soon, so you can watch us kind of talk about it live. So normally what we did before is we would like let it go, then we'd react after. Then so you're watching it twice, which you already know the information. So it'd be really fun, I think, to watch us talk about it, and you can get our live takes and interact with us as things get revealed. And I think it'll be a lot of fun, man. It's always a good time to see new reveals. Hopefully, maybe release dates. Who knows? But mostly, I think it'd just be a lot of fun because there's other games besides Legion coming up there too. Like they low key hinted at another Marvel Crisis Protocol, like the X-Men expansion, right? They just had the X on the table, so it'd be interesting if that actually comes out as an expansion for the game, or if they're just doing something else. But they have a lot of product lines, and they even talked about a couple unannounced ones. So hopefully it's Star Wars. I'm really holding my fingers crossed for a Star Wars cooperative living card game, something a la Arkham Horror. I'd be really in on that. But yeah, so we'll see. It's always this is a fun time of year for that kind of thing. It's like our E3 more or less, right?
Yeah, it is kind of like our E3, right? Because it's like the big trade show, right? People go to. So for those of you who don't know, the in-flight report is a panel that FFG does every Gen Con, and they preview basically their new stuff for whatever their next development cycle is. Last year, I think they previewed Arkham Horror, and they previewed a bunch of stuff from Legion. They previewed new things for Armada, etc. So that is what is going to happen. And as Evan was saying, we're going to be streaming that as well and reacting to it. And can you give them the date, time, and the channel?
Yep, it'll be on the Fifth Trooper podcast. Jeez, the Fifth Trooper. Sorry, I'm used to saying that. The Fifth Trooper Network YouTube. It'll be 7 p.m. CMT, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll be there and we'll be talking it up, and we'll be ready to go.
That's on Wednesday?
Yes, it is.
So Wednesday,
yeah, that day
July
probably would have been good too. Yeah, Wednesday.
Just making sure people know.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, and that got moved, right? Because it was originally Thursday, I think.
I think it was, yeah, because we had plans for it. Then we looked again, and Dash caught it. Good thing we didn't, because I would have showed up to like nothing.
Hey guys, I looked at it. I was like, "Hey, this is Wednesday."
So then the big streaming day is Saturday, right? That's That's the main
Yes.
tournament. That's the big day
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
we're having all the 3 simulcasts, and we're starting around what, like 10 in the Eastern or so.
Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern. It's going to be like a normal day of Legion. So it'll go till about, I think we got it planned till about 7:30 or 8. So we'll be there all day. And then Sunday, the plan is, because Sunday is the kind of the finals. So we're going to start simulcast, but then we'll be just down to the Fifth Trooper YouTube channel for the final game. So when you get to Sunday, we're going to kind of condense it so that you can just watch the final game. And hopefully Mike and David will be able to join us on that, which I'm sure they will.
I plan to.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I got one final note for folks about waitlist. So right now what we're doing is, as people drop, we're getting in touch individually with waitlisted people to tell them, hey, this ticket is now free.
Mm-hmm.
Please go buy it. And then on the day of, just like any real life tournament, right, there's bound to be drops. And so what we plan to do is, once we can get a clear picture of how many seats are freed up, we'll then contact people in waitlist order to seat them in the tournament and get them into TTO, get their list, etc. And then we'll try to get rolling as soon as we fill up.
Yeah, and to get on the wait list, just go to the fifthtrooper.com, and on our homepage, there'll be a little Star Wars Legion tournament at GenCon banner. Click Learn More, and at the bottom of that page is the wait list. And just sign up, and we'll let you know if you get in.
Yep, so go to the fifthtrooper.com and push that big red button that says join the wait list, and you'll be set.
Yep. Yeah, so what do you guys, anybody got any hot takes on what kind of list we're gonna see? You think people are gonna go serious or are gonna go more playful because of the tournament style? I think we're gonna see more playful lists. I'm hoping.
I think that people are gonna be doing fun stuff just because this is the last hurrah of everything before arc strikes come out. They're clearly not legal in this tournament, so
Yeah.
I think everybody's gonna kind of be a little upbeat about that and ready to go. Not that arc strikes are bad or anything, but they definitely have transformed the game pretty hard, and this is clearly pre-arcs, so I think
Still wholesome.
I think that'll be good, and it'll hopefully instill some ingenuity in the community.
Right. And we know that because of Invader League, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, basically, we're Doc Brown and Marty are going into the DeLorean, and they're going backwards in time. They're stealing the little booklet that says Legion Hedge Your Bets, and it says ARC troopers are going to murder you very soon, so get this in while you can. And I think it's going to be fun. I think seeing the meta go, quote unquote, backwards as we live in like a futuristic time with Invader League, to see it go backwards, I think is going to be interesting. I think you're going to see a lot of players that like maybe shifted factions in Invader League go back to where they were. Like I think you're going to see an influx of Imperial players, which is good. It's good for the game. It's good for the streams. It's good for a lot of things to see that happen, I think.
Well, and I think, this, back to David's point about trying to make this like the real life Gen Con event, right? Is we went to in real life rules where it's 11 days release schedule, right? The normal release schedule for tournaments. And so we wanted to kind of have that spice, because TTS, of course, has all the, updated models that we're aware of in it. But we wanted it to be like if you actually went to Gen Con and what would actually be legal in Gen Con. So, we have all the way up to Padme and Cad Bane. So that they're going to be legal and anything before it.
Interestingly, with respect to Padme and Cad Bane, because of the order the preview articles and stuff were put out, their full kits were not known for Invader League. So there are some legitimately new things with respect to both of them.
Oh, nice.
Particularly Cad Bane. I think his 3-pip and his 1-pip were basically not known at the start of Invader, nor were how Bane tokens work. So we're going to get the full Monty for Cad Bane, and that at least will be something brand new that we did not see in Invader League. And then one of Padme's command cards also is brand new. So
yeah, so that's good. So I think overall, I think it's going to be fun. It just come see any of the, I think most of us will be in and out on the streams. At least some of us will be full time. But like, just come hang out with us. Just come say hi. At the very least, just come say hi. See what's doing. Ask us any of your pressing questions, and we'll be able to talk to you in live there. Because there's always during games, there's always a little bit of downtime here and there where we can talk to the crowd, and it'll be good.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm going to be watching from my hopefully air-conditioned house. We'll see.
And forgive us if by like the end of the day, Saturday and Sunday, if we seem a little tired, because we're going to be sitting there all day.
Yep. Yeah, it's exhausting, commentating and streaming and stuff, as is playing. So.
Evan and I tomorrow got to set up our food orders with Rachel, so because she's going to be a delivery service for us out here in the office. So.
Taco pinwheel.
Yeah, expect me to get shellacked for a good 20 minutes.
Yeah, you guys may get lucky, and that'll be on stream. So who knows?
Come on, are you guys recording out of the garage office?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think we're gonna attempt to. We're going to try to run some videos so you at home can see our beautiful faces since we won't see in person, but we'll be here in our normal streaming area if you've been catching any of our streams on our YouTube channel, and we'll be sitting out here watching the games and commenting to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, man,
awesome.
I'm down.
So just to remind people, I know you said it earlier in the segment, but can you just remind folks where they can find these streams?
Yep. So once again, we're going to have 3 simulcasts through to the final game, and it's going to be the Fifth Trooper YouTube channel. You can just search up the Fifth Trooper on YouTube. It's going to be on Yavin Base, which is David's Endless's Twitch channel, or Dash's TV, which is Dash's Twitch channel. And so we'll all be going simulcast, catching different games. So. I'm going to try to set up a web page on our website that'll have all 3. So you could just watch them from one website, or you could go to all. But I'll update that later in the week. So
awesome, super hyped, very exciting.
And just one last thing, real quick.
Yeah.
If you are watching us, I just want to remind you that it helps us out a lot if you tweet about it, Facebook about it, whatever
Please.
social media you're a part of. Helps us out tremendously if you tell people about what we're doing.
Yeah.
Not
maybe,
but just please.
Maybe that'll be a requirement to win one of the on-stream things.
Incentives, baby.
We'll get them, David. Subscribe and share, you punks. Do it.
I'll make sure I tell my friend Hercules Rockefeller.
Yeah, I've seen him enter a number of our giveaways. He's very popular in the giveaways. I see.
Yeah, and if you see my address on there, it's like a forwarding address. It's not weird.
He's overseas.
Yeah,
PO box in Rhode Island.
It's funny. I enter him and I put, Jay, give me your stuff. No one's like, this is Evan still. Please give me the stuff.
Yeah, it's like weeding through like 40 entries of just Evan like having a conversation with me because I don't talk to him normally.
Jay, please check your DMs. Jay. Also, I need the paint. Jay.
I got to be honest. So we have like a contact thing on our website that pops up automatically when you show up when you log in. I've been super tempted to just start hitting that. Hey, Fifth Trooper.
That is
about your
both
Nets.
The best and worst thing I've ever implemented on our site. So,
all right. Well, thanks, guys, and stop in again sometime.
Oh, definitely, man. Hey, have a great night, guys.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks for having us, and I'm really looking forward to talking to everybody about Legion again.
Awesome. So, we have also some brand new unit previews for a certain behelmeted group of Resistance warriors, which we will discuss in just a little bit. But before we get to that, we have an interview with Luke Cook, who won Invader League. So let's do that real quick, and then we'll hit the Mandos.
And we're here with Luke Cook, world champion, LVO champion, and now Invader League Season 5 champion. I I think you're starting to sound like Khaleesi from Game of Thrones here with all these titles. What's going on, Luke?
Nothing much, man. Yeah, it was a great season. Had a lot of fun. Played a lot of great players from across the country and world. So yeah, it was really really awesome season. Thanks for running the show there, Zach.
Yeah, it was tough pill to swallow to invite you on because we have a bone to pick with you here on Scoundrels, considering you beat Mike here on the Scoundrels in the finals. So but it's Luke. Have to have him on. Speaking of that, it seemed like you guys had a great game. I watched a little bit of it. I was on mute. But why don't we discuss that game a bit here?
Yeah,
why
sure.
you gotta mute me, Zach? The commentary is not good enough for you.
What's that?
You mute me. If you have the game on mute, does that mean you can't stand the commentary? What's going on?
No, 1:00 in the afternoon on a Friday. It was a tough sell to be like, hey, I work with my dad. Be like, hey, Dad, I need to take like a 3.5 hour break to watch this Legion game, and he just turn around and look at me, just like, what the hell is Legion?
Oh, you're at work. Okay. Well, you haven't told you're not out to your family about the fact that you play this game?
No. So actually, unlike so we're going off a little off base here, but unlike Luke's dad, who plays Legion, as we all know, Chris, great guy, from what I can tell. My dad, I tried to get him play once, and his head was spinning. And this was like back when Legion was young, like first year of the game. There's not a lot of rules, and I was just learning the game myself. So I didn't know, a ton. So I'm just like, Dad, we're just going to move. We're going to shoot. We're going to roll some dice. And I play a lot of board games with my dad. But he was like, this shit is crazy. So no, he does know what Legion is, but he has no idea what Legion is.
Well, Zach, you bring up a good point. And Luke, we are going to talk about the game itself. But I want to first ask you, you have a Legion playing family. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I've been playing games with my dad since I was, like 7 years old. And we started going to tournaments and things like that to local stores when I was, maybe 10 or 12 years old, somewhere in there. And yeah, he got me into it when I was really young, and then we always started doing it. And then we started traveling and making trips out of it. And it's always been, that hobby aspect. And we kind of, we have that bonding experience together, and we travel, and it's great times. And now my little brother, who's actually 8 years old, he's starting to play it, and it's really cool to see, him learning all the rules and things. And sometimes he'll even, he'll tell the older guys, hey, you forgot this rule, or hey, you got to roll for suppression, or things like this. So it's pretty cool to see what little kids pick up on. And yeah, it's like a family gaming experience for us.
It must be nice to have practice partners that live under the same roof as you.
Yeah, definitely is. Gearing up for big tournaments, we always practice different lists against each other and things like that. So definitely helps a lot. Not having to travel anywhere but the basement.
Did you play your dad preparing for this game?
Actually, I didn't really play him that much for Invader League practice. He's not a big clone player, so it wouldn't be the best practice, to be honest. He doesn't like all the token sharing shenanigans that's going on. He can't keep track of it. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's just pray to Legion gods that your 8-year-old brother doesn't roll crits the way you do, I guess, right? I mean, we can't have two of you running rampant.
I can't make any promises.
His superpower will awaken, and he'll just like roll a bunch of crits and be like, "It's begun." You'll be like some sort of like superhero drama.
I got a
message from David mid game. He's like, "Did you just see that roll?" As he was casting, and I'm just like, "Oh no, what happened?" He explained it to me. I was like, "Oh no," and no offense, because I was rooting for my boy Mike here. I was like, "Oh no, that couldn't have been good for Mike." But let's walk through. So I didn't see turn 0, but we ended up on what, rollout, intercept, and what was the
minefield.
Minefield. That's right, because we were rooting for mines to go off. That's right. How could I forget? So why don't we walk it through, Luke? What was your thought process there on turn 0 with Mike?
Hold on just a second. We just want to make it clear to the audience, okay? People hate clones so much they were rooting for the mine tokens to win.
More dead clones. Yeah. No, I get that.
Anyway, continue, please.
Okay, so for this map, I had actually had the opportunity to play a game during the week, so I had that scouting opportunity. And then I think it was like the night before or the morning of, I looked through Mike's battle deck, and I scouted it out, and I knew he was going to take the side that he chose just because I would do the same thing. He made the right choice there, just because of how the line of sight blockers were laid out and the nature of the deployment zones. They were definitely better on the side that he chose. So going into the game, what I wanted to do was stay away from close engagements turn one, because I knew he'd have the upper hand, being very aggressive with his ARC troopers, and I wanted to try and play the range game as much as possible. So what I was looking for with the battle deck was rollout, and I think the other option that I had was maybe hemmed in. I wanted to stay away from battle lines because the side I was on didn't have as many line of sight blockers, and he had more vantage points from both sides that he could hit me on. And I forget, Mike, what was your other one? Was it disarray, or what was your last?
Advanced positions.
Advanced positions. Yeah, I wanted to stay away from that one as well because just because he would be scouting 3 into my army, and he would just be able to get really close. So that's what I was thinking with the deployments, and actually what we ended up playing was rollout, so that was actually pretty favorable. I know I read your article, Mike, and I know that you had some opinions and you thought rollout was good as well, so that was interesting. And then for the objective, I wanted to stay on a objective that I could maybe have the upper hand with my activation count, because I had 11 versus 10. So he had intercept and KP in his deck, so I wanted one of those. I wanted to stay away from hostage exchange, because again, that forces you to kind of be aggressive, and it becomes I think generally a points killing game. And then with the Overwatch standbys, it's just like impossible to kill the hostage unit. And then I think you had recover the supplies as well. Was that? Or what was your last objective? I'm forgetting. But anyways, I wanted to avoid it. And then I typically don't care about condition as long as it wasn't limited visibility, which I think he had the upper hand again, which he did end up pushing to, which I banned basically auto. So yeah, that was kind of the turn 0 thinking behind my game. Just trying to, play the range game as much as possible, because I see the difference between our lists is he has 2 full arcs and a sniper strike, where I have 3 sniper strike teams, and then I had the 2 offensive push squads for take that clankers. So I guess in the take that clankers turn, he has 3 shots versus my 5. So that's kind of the idea. That was going into turn 0 on.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head with those things. I definitely messed up turn 0. I should have pushed for hostage exchange, and I didn't in hindsight.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely thought going through the ban phase, I was like, oh, all of these objectives are fine. And I think intercept was actually probably the worst one out of the 3 that came up for me. And I didn't ban it. That was definitely a mistake on my part.
Yeah, because I especially with clones, it's so hard to remove full activations. So at the end, I had, not that many bodies, but they were enough activations where, honestly, if there was another turn, you may have been able to wipe me off the table, because you still had like full squads out there. And so, but yeah, it's just tough to get those full activations off the table.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was watching it, and again, I couldn't hear the commentary. But talking with chat, I thought that Mike's chip damage might have been enough to stalwart you. Like if he was able, what had ended up happening, I think, Mike, is that even like not another turn, but like just another action where you could shoot with those full arcs on something. I think basically all he needed was just one more shot, but it turned into everyone had to dogpile the middle, see what could happen. I know you both took some shots towards the end to try and remove some activations. I get that. But I think the opportunities towards the end on intercept, they were just a little too late for what Mike needed. So honestly, I don't even it's crazy to think that even one more time of a unit shooting would make a difference. But I think it would have just
Oh yeah.
by the game was laying out. But you're right. Like clones are hard to take off the board, and chip damage against clones can be great, but sometimes it's not enough.
Right. And he did a great job of scoping my poor placement of my Z6s, which I'm usually pretty aware of, but I guess I was just moving so faster in the game that I didn't realize I was leaving Z6s on the right or left side. You try and cover it with your dudes, so that they're not exposed. And he did a great job, and he saw those shots. But so as soon as he did that to the squads, I was like, all right, well, these guys are just going to become my token generators for the rest of the game. That's all they're going to do, which is that's what happened. Like
I noticed they were rotated to the back, and you kept like rotating the full ones forward to do the fighting, and the as soon as you took damage, you just like shot and then moved back, and then put the other ones in the front.
Yep, and try and keep token generation up and not lose the firepower, I guess. So yeah, that was kind of my thinking there.
Yeah, the clone revolving door, as I call it.
Yeah, that was definitely a struggle for me, in that like I was like, man, I've like scoped 2 of his E6 out of two of his Overwatch squads. Like this is going great, And the issue was I just wasn't able to like take an activation off the board,
Right. Mm-hmm.
And take his E6 squads out of, like, if you were playing any other faction, it would have been fantastic.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
But you weren't. So
yeah, I know. Clones, it can be frustrating to play against because even a single unit leader is, total value. It can aim, dodge, aim standby, or do whatever it needs to do, and you're still getting that effectiveness out of it.
Isn't that funny to think about that, right? Not to go too far off the course of the game, right? But to think about the fact that you actually have to play clones a little bit differently. Like, let's say you're playing against rebels and they're down to like a unit leader, and you have something that can shoot them, but you have the opportunity to shoot something else that hasn't activated yet. 9 out of 10 times you're shooting at the thing that hasn't activated to try and wound them before they activate. Now with clones, you have to almost say to yourself, is it worth me actually taking this activation off rather than trying to wound another one? And that's where that like revolving door of the clones can it can be crazy. I mean, that's how I play them somewhat myself, is that I make that like circular like motion. If I start taking wounds, I take them out, I move them to the back, and you just, as Mike gives me the wax on, wax on off signal in the chat that we have. It's interesting. I think it calls for a different style of play, but I can understand it's definitely frustrating when you're not playing as the clones as well.
Yep, and I definitely had to make some of those decisions during the game where he had maybe 2 guys and left in a phase 2 squad, and I poured a fully charged take that clinker shot into it just to make sure that activation was taken out. I think I rolled something crazy like 9 or 10 hits, like a full boat, and then just wiped them out. And I was saying to myself, oh, I should have shot the arcs, but going off averages, go for the full activation wipe there. It's the better play.
That was the shot that made me crazy, by the way. What on earth?
It was like 8 before aim tokens.
Yeah. In fairness, I think I stockpiled like 8 or 4 aim tokens, something crazy. But yeah, definitely was crazy off the first
10,
shot. Yeah,
10 either way. It's just like you didn't have to spend the aim tokens, It
was like the first shot. I was like, well, I guess I didn't need all these aims. Yeah.
Well, but okay, I just want to ask, do you agree with this idea? So, a stack of aim tokens, it can fix a crappy shot, but can also make a good shot hurt that much worse. And I feel like that's the rub right there. It's like this thing is already gonna do serious damage, but now I have 8 aims to push it over the edge and just destroy an activation outright.
Right. Totally. Yeah. And the Z6 shots, they can fail you sometimes. So those, stacking up those aims can really help. And that was kind of my strategy with dealing with his Overwatches and standby sharing. Was I would basically load up with aim tokens, enter the standby range, take the shot, sure, but then I could hit him back with a more effective shot. that was kind of the idea that I was running during the game. Just triggering, that front squad standby, he shoots, but then I would have a more focused fired shot with all the aim tokens that I had saved up. So maybe I lose a model, but then I'll be able to, hopefully take out more with my return fire.
Yeah, I mean, those stairs also provided you a pretty good spot to castle up.
Yep.
And I know you discussed it after the game. I know, Mike, you went around to that other side thinking there would be a little more cover for you to kind of do the same thing, and it didn't really end up being what you thought in terms of cover. So real quick, sorry, Luke here, but to ask Mike, do you wish you kind of went the other direction on that table, or do you think you would take that same route? And, do you think the route you took on rollout was right, or do you think you should have gone left rather than to that area?
In hindsight, I think I probably would have mirrored his deployment. I hadn't played the map beforehand, but I had scouted it out, and I was like, okay, this is the line of sight blocker I want to use, because if you're behind that line of sight blocker, nothing is ever going to see you.
Yeah.
And it's
the thing's like a 20-foot wall, just full stop.
Yeah, 20-foot wall, wide and tall, and it was kind of silly. So I was like, this is if I'm able to abuse this seems like it would be a good thing to have access to. I actually think that the only reason I would have mirrored the deployment was that I was closer to the objective. I think as far as line of sight and cover and stuff goes, the cover ended up not really mattering a ton overall.
Mm-hmm.
It did stop a few shots, but there was enough dodge tokens and stuff down on the board at any given point that people were basically in cover anyways.
Yeah, and light cover usually because suppression. So it's only There wasn't. I did discuss this. I forget where, but looking at the map prior, I was like, "There's going to be a lot of out of cover shots here." I think. Just looking it over real quick, it seemed like there was a lot of open lanes and stuff. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I definitely realized halfway through a deployment, halfway through deployment as clones, you end up pretty committed to where you're going to be, just because you kind of have to deploy all together or else it doesn't work real great.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, I'm just going to have to get pretty aggressive off the get-go and set up a standby zone that gives me effective line of sight blocking against everything but his snipers and something that wants to walk into range and take a standby shot. And I think for the most part, that worked the way I wanted it to. You did a very good job in kind of creating those wind-up shots and being able to kind of get in under the standby and then doing enough damage back that ended up being less good than I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, Luke, now that we've discussed the finals,
sure.
You played in arguably the toughest bracket in Invader League this season, probably with Riha, Genghis John, Garn, and I'm blanking on who else was in that group. But it was a really, really tough, group for the round stage. Do you think that helped propel you towards single eliminations? Do you think playing those games and I'm not saying you take things for granted, but being a player of your stature and I think Invader League as a whole is getting more competitive as we go along anyways, as someone that, was behind the scenes running it.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that you focused more on this season than seasons in past because you actually had to play your, round games with the mindset you had to get out of that group?
Yeah, totally. I think any practice in any competitive event, where you're playing good opponents, it's just going to propel your skill level forward. And playing Garn and R1 and all these different players, Genghis John, great opponents, and they definitely helped me improve my game. During the round robin stage, I started off with the classic Rex Star tank list that was basically what I was going to run for Worlds, and then I switched to the fully operational Rex Star list, which is what I ran in the single eliminations. And then, moving through the single elims, this was definitely one of my toughest Invader League runs. I think I played for the past 2 seasons. This was my third, and yeah, it was one of the toughest I've had. From playing, 2 exact mirror lists, and then playing Orchimedes, playing Garnanana, and then playing Dashes in the final. Like, just all really great opponents, and really close games. So I definitely think it helped improve all the way through my game.
Yeah, I mean, it helped you improve. It didn't help improve the list name. It's still a terrible name, as I tell you and Mike. I tell you and Mike every chance I get that Arcstar and Rexstar are just terrible names. I'm gonna say that to you both 10 out of 10 times. If I get that chance, all right. Now I'm not gonna say Arc. I'm not gonna say Arc Balls, okay? But
you already said it.
All right, crap, you got me.
What would you name it? Let's hear it.
Man, I don't even know. I don't know what I would name it. I'd have to sit down and actually think about it because you guys have coined the names on these lists. Arc Balls definitely is funnier, albeit it's not really kosher to probably be saying it, over and over, especially typing it out on the Discord. but you know what? I'm gonna sit down tonight and I'm gonna think of a name for both of those lists that is definitely better than Rexstar and Arcstar. I'll think about it. We'll definitely not call it the we'll definitely not call it the Josh Allen's list. But speaking of clones and arcs and arc balls and Rex stars and arc stars, do you see yourself playing clones normally, or are you just going to stay as the uncommitted Luke Cook? I'm going to play the flavor of the week and see where it goes.
Yeah, I typically like to play off the beaten path. And leading up to this Invader League, I was so swingy on what I was going to play. I was practicing from everything from Cassian Jin list to, just like Imperial gun lines and all these different things. I get the most fun, and I play so much of the game that I really have to switch up what I play. Otherwise, I'll just get bored of the staleness of it that it can become. I got to be honest. The clone list that I was running is, in my opinion, kind of very basic in your moves. You don't have a flashy Force user. You don't have Emperor Palpatine with pull the strings. You're limited to your options. It's kind of very you have like a very flow chart list with clones. So yeah, I mean, it was kind of boring at times, and I kind of regretted playing clones sometimes just because of how they play with the gun line. But I like to switch things up, so I'll definitely probably play a different faction in the next one. So we'll have to see.
I can roll crits no matter what faction I play.
So I had one more question, but we're gonna skip that question. That question was what's next for Luke, which might be Gen Con, but we're gonna skip that because of something you said. Okay, let's walk through it.
Okay.
At LVO, you pounded Fireball. Okay. The other night you're at the bar, you're pounding IPAs. Okay.
Yep.
And now you're telling me that the list you brought is basic. So are you basic bitch Luke Cook? Is that what it is?
It is what it is, Zach. I'll let the people give the name. I don't give the names.
So I guess if you are basic in Buffalo, that also means you need to jump through a plastic table too.
Yes, I think I need to record this and post it up.
Speaking of recordings, Ed Martinez got you the best recording I think possible from Jar Jar Binks there.
Oh man, that made my month, man. Oh, that was awesome. Seeing that just that put such a huge grin on my face. That was awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, Ed, if you're listening.
So for those who don't know, Ed Martinez paid Ahmed Best $100 through Cameo to send like a greeting card to Luke Cook to celebrate his win. So that's what we're referring to.
Easily the best prize I've ever received from any event. It was just really great. Awesome.
Yeah, unexpected too.
Yeah, it really was. I was like, I came to my phone, and I had a couple pings from Discord, and I go to it. I was like, oh my god, no way, is this real? That was crazy. Yeah.
Oh man, but Luke, I want to thank you for coming on. I want to congratulate you as tournament organizer, and obviously, here on the podcast on your win. I think you need to apologize on air to Mike, though. Can you please say sorry, Mike?
What? Yeah, no apologies are necessary here. It was
No.
a good game. It was fun.
Yeah, it
No,
was
no,
a good
no.
game, Mike, as always. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
definitely. Man.
I was pumped to see that it was you two in the finals. Two guys I talk to all the time. So, but yeah, thanks again for coming on, man.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, and thanks for doing all the hard work this season. I know I personally gave you some headaches, and a lot of people did. So I know it can be a lot to deal with sometimes, but we appreciate all the effort that you put in. So thank you.
I appreciate it.
And we're back. That was Luke Cook. Is it me, or has it become like our tradition on this show to have the runner-up participate in an interview of the winner of an event?
Yeah, except instead of you, it's me this time.
Yeah, right.
Humble brag.
All right. Congrats to Luke, as we said already, for winning Invader League. And let's talk about some Mandalorians, because we got like an actual preview today. So David,
really, you're gonna do that?
What?
You're just gonna skip over it?
Yeah,
let's skip over
right
what?
over it.
Welcome to In the News.
Jeez.
You know what? It was not in parentheses.
I don't think I even put it in the article this time, but you still missed it.
I mean, it does literally say in the news on the outline. It's just not in parentheses.
He's gonna blame this air conditioning crap. It's so hot in my house. I forgot about the drop, guys.
Man, it's hot. My AC doesn't work. Yeah, it's really hot. Today's the hottest day for the week, though, so at least there's that. It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. DC. The thing about DC, not to go super tangential here, is that it's not only hot, but it's like 100% humidity, like all the time.
Yeah, it's built on a swamp.
Yeah,
it's literally built on a swamp.
No, here's the key. Okay, the key is the meteorologists. Okay, they have no idea what they're talking about, but they make it seem like they know what they're talking about. And when they're wrong, it's okay. Kind of like us. We seem like we know what we're talking about. Most of the time we're right, but when we're wrong, it's okay because we dressed it up appropriately. Right, guys?
Speak for yourself, dude.
All right. Anyway, so about those Mandalorians. David, you want to walk us through these unit cards since you're a resident favorite rebel?
Well, it looks like we finally got our Royal Guards. It only took like a year, but we have our Royal Guard type unit. So Mandalorians are special forces, another amazing special forces option for the rebels. Who knew? So they come in two types. There's the generic Mandalorian Resistance fighters with 1 wound to courage, red defense with surge, as you'd expect a Mandalorian to have. Surge to hit, which is great. Range 2, which is kind of not good, but hey, I'll take it. It's pretty decent shooting too. Black with surge per mini is pretty sweet. No sharpshooter or anything attached, but they do have jump 2, as you'd expect a Mandalorian to have. They have impervious as well. They also have nimble, which is super exciting, especially when you consider that this is already a unit that has defense surge on red dice and has a training to take situational awareness. So these things are insanely defensive. And that's good because they have very few wounds. The generic Mandalorian Resistance, when you take the heavy weapon, only has 4 total wounds. So they're kind of like BX droids also in that way. They have a comm slot for uplink shenanigans. They have gear for recon intel or ascension cables. They have also this really cool armament called jetpack rockets, which are, like you'd expect, the sort of backpack style rockets that we're accustomed to seeing a unit like Boba Fett carry. They're range 3 to 4. They are a single use card, but their weapon is pretty sweet. It adds blast to whatever your attack pool is, and each instance of the rocket gives you impact 1. So I believe if you had the full unit shooting on this rocket, you would get impact 4 because it's 4 instances of this rocket, similar to the way a grenade would be. I think a lot of folks are excited though to use them with their short range pool. Or actually, no, you can't do that because it's minimum range of 3. So people have been anticipating using these rockets either by themselves or pairing them with one of the named Mandalorians from Clan Ren, which we'll get to in just a second here. But still, a really exciting weapon, a nice little option if you're facing armor. There's just another tool that Rebels have in their arsenal, and this time it's only 8 points to take this this upgrade, so it's very fairly costed, I feel. Also, the generic, or not the generic, but the heavy weapon for the regular Mandos is called the Beskad Duelist, which adds some very powerful keywords. He only has a melee special attack. He can use the ranged weapon of the unit that he's in. His dice are red with Surge, which is really strong. But he gets this cool keyword called Duelist, which says if you're doing a melee attack, if you spend a name token, gain Pierce. Or if you're defending against melee, if you spend a dodge, gain Immune Pierce. So if you have some ability to get tokens on your Mandos, you can get this additional effect. And I'm guessing that when you spend the dodge for Nimble, that the Immune Pierce would trigger as well, and you'd actually get that dodge back. So for every defense you make, I think you're going to continuously be immune to Pierce, if I'm not mistaken there. At least in melee. So that's why I made that reference to the Royal Guard type character, because this is sort of a similar thing, right? Like the Electro Staff Guard just has it natively, but the Mandos can get it if they have a dodge token to defend with, and they essentially will have it as long as they have their dodge token. The other variant, and I'll try to keep this short but this is really exciting too. You have the Sabine's Clan Ren, and you have Tristan Ren and Ursa Ren, who are both characters from Star Wars Rebels. They have similar stats to the generic Mandalorians, but they also have a really cool keyword called Retinue. So if Sabine Wren's in your list, at the start of the activation phase, if you are at range 1 to 2 of Sabine Wren, gain an aim or a dodge. And that's really awesome if you're just near Sabine and you get free tokens. Like, sign me up. That seems really cool. Another thing to note, the base unit here, you get one generic unit of Mandalorian Resistance from Clan Ren, but this one has 2 wounds. So you're getting 1 miniature with 2 wounds on it. Makes sense, right? It's an elite from Clan Ren. And you also get 2 heavy weapons in the form of Tristan Ren and Ursa Ren. And Ursa, she gives the unit Dauntless. They just have basically both units have 2 wounds, and they have a bevy of really useful keywords. Ursa gives the unit Dauntless. She also gets Long Shot, which means that she can increase her weapon's range by 1 if necessary by using a name token. And then Tristan is range 3 natively, but he has lethal and suppressive on his gun. And remember back to those backpack rockets I was talking about? You can actually use Tristan. You don't have to use him in Clan Ren. You can use him in a regular Mando squad as well. You can take him as the heavy weapon there. And so you can actually put Tristan in the regular squad, use your backpack rockets, and get a 3 red, 2 black, range 3 attack with blast, lethal, and suppressive in it. So you can kind of get like a mini Boba Fett 3-pip, if you will. But I really think this is super, super awesome. Like all these things that they revealed. This unit is going to be such a joy to put on the table.
Just to clarify something. Sorry, Kyle, but just to clarify something on the equip part of Clan Ren, just to bring back to the thing you said about Tristan. If you bring him in another unit, you can't bring Clan Ren because I guess BK from FFG noted today in the Discord that equip is a mandatory. So the card says equip Tristan and Ursa, so you have to bring both. So if you bring the Clan Ren version of it, Tristan has to go in that unit, so you can't put him in a generic. I just wanted to clarify that for the listeners.
Right.
Though.
Right. You also can't bring the Beskad Duelist in a unit of Clan Ren because you run out of slots. So the Duelist only exists with the generics, and it should, because a 2-wound Beskad Duelist is pretty nuts, to be honest.
Yeah, the thing I think that's like really crazy about this unit is not so much the firepower or all the like cool toolsy stuff they have. This is the first like non-hero infantry unit we have that moves at speed 3 and has jump 2 natively. Like you don't have to equip jetpacks on these things like you do for full arcs or arc strike teams or whatever. And these guys are move at speed 3 and have jump. These guys are very fast. They don't care about terrain. It's like uh, not to get too spoilery, but it's like the episode in Mando where they just fall out of the sky, right? you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and,
This is the way.
yeah, and I think that's gonna play like heavy into the rebel like arsenal. Like rebels have always been good against objectives, and Kyle has said it many times. Rebels are also good at killing things, and they kind of do both.
Yeah, I mean, these are each they have sort of the flavor of Sabine, but with more meat, right? Um, the base generic unit, um, only rounds out at 4 wounds when you add the heavy, but they have significantly more offense than either Sabine or Boba Fett, because they each have 2 dice and it's 4 models, so that you're throwing 8 dice, potentially 9 dice if you equip one of the special characters, on a unit with speed 3, jump, impervious, and red saves. Um, and then conversely, I think the Clan Ren is like the durable version of the two, because you got 6 wounds. Your damage doesn't degrade when you take one. Um, they get, if you run them close to Sabine, you can give them a free dodge token every turn. You could run them. We saw that new upgrade, situational awareness, which lets you spend dodges to cancel crits. It's a free dodge token every turn with nimble and situational awareness. With red saves, they're going to be really hard to shift. And then Ursa has Dauntless, which also means that suppression is not going to affect them as much. So I can see Clan Ren being like the objective focused version, and then Mandalorian Resistance kind of being more like the hard hitting. Maybe you throw those rockets on there with Tristan and do like like you said, like a mini Baba rocket type thing at range 3, and then get in there at range 2 and throw all your dice. They're not bad in melee either. Black and a white and melee per model. And then black for the Clan Ren. So yeah, I'm excited.
These things hit as hard as ARC troopers in melee.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they're basically short range ARC troopers that have jump natively, right? And move a lot faster. Like the difference between speed 2 and speed 3 is huge. Um, it's a very big deal.
It's so exciting too because of their trooper keyword, right? Because it makes them really, really, really good for a variety of objectives. They excel at like everything you can think of, basically, in terms of objective play.
Yeah,
And
I
like
do
they can
think.
pivot, right? Like Sabine's ability to pivot with speed 3 is well known, but now you can have basically a supporting unit that moves as fast as she does and has the retinue keyword to give it dodges.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's probably room for like a list that's literally 3 units of Mandalorian Resistance and Sabine, and like backed up, like instead of triple tawns. Like I could see this being a thing. You might get a little bit screwed if you get a bad board or something that doesn't have a lot of jumpable terrain. Um, but I do think that they're very good. It strikes me that the generic unit is like pretty glass cannony, and that you kind of want to jump in, do your damage, and jump out, and you're not really looking to like soak stuff. Whereas Clan Ren looks like it can really get in there as long as Sabine is there with them and just kind of basically take the firepower of the enemy army and soak it.
Yeah, I think looking at the retinue keyword, I actually didn't read it earlier. Like I kind of skimmed it. Getting tokens at the activation phase, as we learned with phase 2s in the surge tokens, is like kind of massive. To just be able to start the round with those tokens, whether it's an aim or a dodge, like basically what I'm envisioning is you take the Clan Ren. You can pick and choose what rounds you want to last first with, right? Let's say you're going to go last with them on a turn, say. So you take Sabine, you give them a dodge, and then next turn, let's say they're in the action and they want an aim token, you can give them an aim. It's just the versatility and the design space in there. It gives you so much options once you get, the Clan Ren in the thick of it. I'm excited actually, now that I fully read the card, to just put Clan Ren together, because I keep on saying this, and I've said it on the podcast. I want to go full clones, and then they come out with stuff like this, and I'm just like, you're drawing me back. I'm spending more money than I want to, and these units are looking good.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited. To paint these. The models look amazing. The card art is great. They're really stepping up their card art. But this makes me want to. Not that I was like bored of Rebels, but this makes me want to put Rebels on the table again.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how these compete with strike teams, right? I think strike teams are starting to fall a little bit by the wayside to some degree.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I could easily see like one of these and 2 strike teams still, or some mix like that. But this certainly feels like the first Rebel Special Forces unit in a while that you're seriously considering dropping a sniper strike team for.
Oh, come on. Bistan
sometimes
was just on
in
the verge of a
multiples.
comeback.
What's that?
Bistan was just on the verge of a comeback.
Yeah.
And then they drop these.
Yeah, right. No, I'm super excited.
There's 2 major drawbacks, right? One is the Courage 2. It's actually a drawback because they're going to be the focus of a lot of attacks, and you never want this thing panicking because it's such an important unit. And of course, you're going to have access to recovers with, Cassian. These and Cassian are like an obvious pair. And then the other factor, is the fact that they have a relatively low wound count, and so Rebels might consider bringing medics again just for these, because they're just such an important set of wounds. They're also really thick, and so if your opponent does in fact waste time shooting them and you have a medic behind it, they might just find it completely pointless.
That's funny you said that. I put together a list earlier today. It was Luke, Sabine, 3 naked Rebel troopers with medics, and then I think it might have been a Rebel. It was Operative Luke, mind you. That's what it was. Rebel officer was strict. Sabine, Operative Luke, 3 medic Rebel troopers, and then a hodgepodge of Mandos, and I think 1 strike team. The strike team's just in there for fluff. It was only 9 activations, but you're talking about units that once they get in your face, what do you do about it?
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be pretty overwhelming, and I'm really curious to just keep exploring that space and figuring out what combos exist. The longer I get to play with a list builder, there's even a version I came up with, and this is the last thing I'll say on it. You can run Cassian, a unit of Tristan Mandos, and then 5 DLTs. So now you have a range 4+ gun line with Rebels, and you have a really solid linebacker type unit to deal with Jedi. So you actually have some pretty legitimate options now, and this was kind of the unit that Rebel gun lines were missing, because we needed that sort of linebacker against Tauntauns and other melee threats like Jedi. And now I think we're going to get it, and it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Well, you guys got any final thoughts or plugs?
It's GenCon week, man. Let's come watch all our streams. One's Wednesday at 8, and Saturday and Sunday we're going to be going full bore. So
just come in on Saturday. Visit Dash's TV on Twitch, or Yavin Base on Twitch, or the 5th Trooper YouTube channel. Come say hi. Come register for giveaways. Maybe you'll win a fabulous prize.
I would like to plug whatever we can get to lubricate Dash's chair as he just moved forward and it made a huge creak.
Hey man, I swapped out my old chair that was creaky for a new chair that was creaky, and maybe 3rd time will be the charm. We'll see.
All right. Well, I am Kyle.
I'm Mike.
I'm David.
I'm Zach.
We're the Notorious Scoundrels, and I know that I did that backwards. And we'll see you next week.